Yeah, that Beyonce bit was, I'm on. Talk to you later, Kenny. All right, back. I love these cigars. This Lagloria Serie R. Great. You're back with part 2, my 200th video. This is now 201. Okay, we're on my 200th, the first video now. We were talking before we took this little break about the celebrities who have died, and they always happen in threes. Well, now it seems like they're in threes of threes, because we had the first 3 pass away real recently. Billy Mays, I forget who all was in that first bunch, Michael Jackson, and someone else, and also another good friend of mine, a musician from Louisville, Kentucky, who wrote great songs for some of the top country singers. Delbert McClinton recorded his music. Tim Krekel from Louisville, Kentucky. So that was the first batch of threes, because I considered him in that batch. Then you had your second batch of threes, which I forget who all was in that batch, but Les Paul was part of that bunch. And now you've got your third batch of threes. In a very short time, you had Patrick Swayze, Mary Travers, and Henry Gibson. And for those who don't know who Henry Gibson is, he was the little guy from Laughing, a poem by Henry Gibson. This man was hilarious. I used to crack up watching Laughing just for Henry Gibson. The two that cracked me up the most on Laughing was Henry Gibson, and I think his name is Artie Johnson, the one who did the very interesting. And he also did the old man with Ruth Buddies, who would smack him with a, her purse. Would you call me irresistible? Would you call me adorable? And then he falls off the thing. Would you call me an ambulance? Funny shit. But Henry Gibson, Mary Travers is from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm just across the bridge from Louisville, Kentucky, in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And I will admit to you right now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I am a hard rocker. I love the blues. I love rock and roll. Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman. But every once in a while, I like to sit back and listen to some nice folk music. Peter, Paul, and Mary was one of my favorites. Mary Travers was from Louisville, Kentucky. Beautiful voice. Local station around here, WFPK, has been playing a lot of their music in her honor. So there's 3 batches of threes recently. Now, which brings me to my subject, healthcare reform. Barack Obama is doing an interview today with George Stephanopoulos that will be broadcast today. I saw a little clip of it just a bit ago, where I think he's sort of playing off the little line that President Jimmy Carter was trying to, the way to defeat your enemy politically is to make them look bad. Not to have a better idea, but to make them look bad, make them look like a racist, let's say. If you don't have a good idea, if you and I are debating, and you've got a good idea, and I've got a good idea, and let's say you're black, but you've got a good idea, race will never come into the situation, even if I am racist, which I'm not. Because you're going to fight for you're not going to sit there and say, well, you don't like my idea just because I'm black. You're going to say, you don't like my idea, but let me explain to you how it works. Well, in this situation, the idea that Barack Obama wants to do is bad. And to prove it, they won't use the idea to dispute the arguments against it. What they are doing is trying to make their opponents look like racist. And I, for one, am sick and fucking tired of it. you know, but it happens all the time, and it's happened on the opposite side too, on the Republican side, and you know, instead of and it's not always racism, it's anything to make their opponent look bad. Well, you don't like my idea just because you think I'm an old man or whatever, you know. A good idea should stand on its own two legs. And there's always going to be debate. There should always be debate. The Constitution, especially in politics, requires that there be debate. That's why you have the people in the Congress. I mean, if a bill just came into Congress, they said, it's our job, we must pass it, you would be mighty pissed off as your congressman. I would. They debated in Congress. They debated in the Senate. You know, president come up with an idea. Race should never come into it. If the idea is good, let the idea stand on its own merits to fight against the opponents. The idea is a bad idea. I do like the one thing that Obama wants to do with this bill, and he's got to take the public option out of it. Take the public option out of it. There is no public option for auto insurance, but everybody who drives a car is required to have auto insurance, and it may get to the point where everybody is required to have health insurance. All insurance is going to do, it is not going to stop you from being able to go and get health care. It is going to stop you in your ability to have that health care paid for. Because let's say you don't have insurance, and there's lots and lots and lots of people in this country who have no insurance because they can't afford it, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, how to get those premiums down so everyone can afford it. They want to pass a law to make it illegal for an insurance company to deny a person coverage because they have a pre-existing condition. And I was in the insurance industry for 5 years. I worked for Humana, one of the biggest, if not the biggest right now. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield may still be the very biggest, and if it is, then Humana is a very close second. Humana is growing by leaps and bounds, profit-wise, which is what they want to do. You got to have profit to keep things going. And the way the insurance works, because when I had to go to a class and learn all this stuff, insurance, and I forget what they call it, but they basically, if you get 10 people together and all of them are putting money into a pool to say cover not to get sick, and then one person gets sick and it's agreed, okay, well, I can take money out of this pool because I'm putting money in it. I may take more out than I put in. You may put in more than you ever take out, but that's how insurance works. Let me check my time real quick here, folks. That's how insurance works, okay? If you've got, let's say, 60% of the population putting money into a system where the odds, and they have formulas and things to figure how much will be paid out, because it's all based on the mortality rate, and at one time it was 60. Now in life insurance, like the mortality is all based on a person dying at 100 years old, and they have these formulas on how to figure at what age certain people start developing what diseases and how sick they get and how much money all this is going to cost. But you got, let's say, 60% of the American population paying into this system. Okay, so that makes the premium X. You deny a certain group of people from joining this bunch because coming into it, it is acknowledged that they have one of those diseases that's going to cost a lot of money. Well, you could do a couple of different things. You can do what the insurance companies do now, is deny them coverage because of pre-existing. And usually what that means is if you don't have insurance, you have to have had insurance at least for 30 days before switching with a pre-existing condition right now to get coverage. I'm 10 minutes, so I'm going to take another break. We'll be back with part 3.